Okay, we are live. And you can please share, Professor, Doctor.
As the clock strikes
Guys, y'all
seven,
please share with your
fight to life.
Facebook or
Inner
WhatsApp.
circles here, where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come on, come on, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the call. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. Inner Circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the call. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. So join the conversation, let's set the tone.
Okay, guys. Welcome everyone. Welcome to our audience, wherever you're watching us from around the world. Today we have a very, very important guest, and our topic tonight is how to decide a career path that is right for you. We have our own J.D. Baka, who's going to educate us tonight about, choosing a career path, how to choose a career path, when to start, and what career path to choose. So he's going to be educating us tonight. And we have our panelists here. I'm your host tonight, Abe Kumara, and we'll go around the room to introduce our panelists, the usual crew, and then we'll get to our guest, so Titus.
Hey guys, good evening tonight. I am Titus and thanks for joining us. It's going to be a very interesting topic as we have on our own scholar par excellence. Join us. Let's learn. Let's learn from each other and let's learn from the prof as we get into this topic tonight. Thanks to all of you. Share, like, and continue to follow the show.
Now,
Good evening, everybody. Melvin Lionel Zia. This is interesting tonight. What else can we talk about aside from this topic that we sit down and kind of reflect on career to choose from. So having someone who is a subject matter expert in these things is key. So share, get involved. Let's share this within our community and let it reach the many people who think this should reach so that messages that will kind of be given here tonight can reach a lot of people. Thank you.
thank you. And folks, again, our topic tonight is how to decide a career path that is right for you. So we give our guest the opportunity to introduce himself, and then we'll jump right into it.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Sa Packard. I go by JD, as most of my colleagues call me. As it relates to my own personal career, I am a professor at the same time. I'm also an individual who have had diversified career path that I'm going to be speaking about tonight. I don't like to talk a lot about myself, so I would just have to just being an educator, being an informal mentor in the community, and helping people to navigate different paths to be able to either get into a career, select a career, or maybe rebrand themselves to get into a better path in order to empower themselves.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, folks. If you want to join the conversation tonight, you can either comment or call our number on 817-600-1525. Again, as Tade said, it's going to be a great topic. That is very important for our community. Our platform is a community show. We want to educate our community. Some of the topic will come with, it might be boring to you, but we believe it's very, very important, right, to educate our community, to inform us. Sometimes what is suffering us is lack of information, right? We say we don't have the information. So once we can bring guests on here to educate us, to provide us with necessary information, that is always good. So, Professor Baka, how does one goes about choosing a career in these United States?
Yeah, before we talk about the aspect of how do you choose a career, you first need to understand what is a career to you, right,
Mhm.
as an individual, because there are different versions in which when we talk about our career, right,
Mhm.
most often when I think about career, I just think about a series of different jobs and different occupation that we occupy within our lifetime, right? It could be
Mhm.
somebody becoming a financial analyst, an accountant, and somebody subsequently becoming a CEO or CFO, right? So the
Mhm.
accumulation of those different experiences tend to formulate what we call a career. That's one way we will also look at a career. And a career can also be obtained through different means. A career can be obtained through practical means, and a career can also be obtained through theoretical means. That is by going to school, seeking education, developing the skills, developing the know-how. And there are some individuals who may like to not go
Okay.
to school exclusively for that particular career path, but they
Okay.
tend to develop a career in that direction.
Okay. For someone in college, right? For our young folks in college, the when should it in high school or college? When should they start thinking about career?
I would say you should start thinking about a career at a very early age. I would say most often I would advise that kids that are in high school, right,
Mhm.
and that's how our educational system is being structured, right?
Yeah.
Because like being a professor right now, and I also teach students that are doing advanced courses in college, right?
Okay.
So those students are completing credit at the same time. They are having some opportunity to learn and navigate the different path on how the future looks like relative to their career. So when it
Okay.
comes to choosing your career, there are different areas you have to look at. First, know
Okay.
yourself, examine yourself, have a deep dive into yourself to understand what your true motivations are, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
besides knowing that also, you also want to understand what exists in the market as it
Mhm.
relates to the different skill set, and then also learn what can you do to earn those knowledge that would
Sure.
the skill set. And
Okay.
besides that, you also want to go into aspect of what motivates you, right?
Okay.
In terms of what you want to do. Some
Mhm.
people may be motivated by salary. Some people may be motivated by just something that they love to do, by
Okay.
passion. And there are other areas in which other people will be motivated. And
Okay.
then also seek guidance, gain mentorship, right? Understand the job market, look at the different outlook. So those are different factors that we look at relative to the aspect of selecting a career. And I will discuss them as we go through the show today.
Sure. 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 Okay. Mel, any question for Professor Parker?
JD, thank you for elaborating, clearly on what you just said. I think, like we said here, this is important. Deciding a career path that's right for you is involve thoughtful thinking and consideration in self reflection, like you said. So you mentioned a little bit of it, but I want you to, deep dive into some of the key factors that one should consider when choosing a career path? What are some of the key factors that you can kind of lay out here tonight? Since we just started the conversation, I think it will be key to elaborate more on that, so people that are listening, some of us here too, can learn more from you.
Yeah, I would say as an individual, I would try to be practical and give some example about myself, right? Again, when I talk about career, I spoke about career in the sense that sometimes you learn it based on education and sometimes you learn it based on experience. So the first thing you want to look at in a career as it relates to a career path is understanding who you are as an individual, right? You want to do an internal examination of yourself to say, I want to pursue this career, but do I have the ability? Do I have the sense of empowerment to be able to pursue this particular career path? You try to ask yourself, what are you interested in? What are skill set you can develop in order to take this particular path? And you also look at your personality, right? The kind of
Okay.
person you are. Are you an extrovert, an introvert? Those
Okay.
could determine the kind of career path you want to pursue. And
Okay.
in addition to that, you want to be, I know there are a lot of people who would choose a career, but you want to be contemporary as it
Okay.
relates to the selection of a career path. That is, if I choose to be a software engineer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That will not happen overnight. What I need to understand is that what are the different skill set that I need to learn to become a software engineer? What are
Okay.
the different licensure that I need to obtain to become a software engineer?
Sure.
And how do I develop from being just maybe a basic analyst or an entry level person to
Okay.
move into being a lead engineer in the future?
Sure, sure, sure. Okay. First of all, Professor, we know you're a professor, but that big, big book that you bring here, slow down this more. Contemporary, when you use a big book small, break it down for our folks because you might have some folks, you know what I mean, who like myself, they when you talk about contemporary, I need to go look in the dictionary to know what contemporary means. So begging you, slow down, know you professor, because I want to educate folks here tonight how to choose a career path that is right for them. But the one thing I just want to kind of push a little bit on it, how can someone in high school know these things at that maybe like at that age, right? We have a lot of our kids, right? Every summer you have like, a lot of Liberian kids, a lot of immigrant kids graduating. Do they know those things? How do they go about knowing these things that you just, outline about choosing a career or how to go about it?
And if I may just add before
Yeah,
JD go,
yeah.
so to what Abe just said for these kids who are in high school, I
Mhm.
mean, are there any tools, that they can use to figure out, how to even get that self evaluation that you talked about earlier? Because
Yeah.
a lot of them are, they're wallowing which way to go.
Thank you.
So
Thank
just to
you.
buttress Abe's point.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are a lot of self-assessment tools that people can use as it relates to selecting a career path. But I just want to focus on high school, for example,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of high school usually have career day, right? Or sometimes I know being in a community college, we usually have career day and we go to high school and try to make sure that those students join us on campus. And
Okay.
during those career days day program, we just lecture, not lecture, we have conversation on series of different career paths that are trending in the in the industry right
Mm-hmm.
now. But
Mm-hmm.
another thing to take into consideration is that in high school, students already having conversation with their instructors, right? They already having conversation through the career program. And a lot of colleges have specific department that are set towards workforce development and career development, right? That will
Okay.
bring those kids on campus. We talk to them about it. And
Mm-hmm.
not me area that those kids understand career path is during admission process,
Okay.
right? Because when you go to college, the first question you ask yourself is that, what do I want to do? What
Yeah.
do I aim to be in the future, right?
Sure.
And I
Sure.
experienced that because that can be very challenging. I've been I graduated from the University of Minnesota, and I've also been a mentor at the University of Minnesota, Carson School mentorship program,
Sure.
and the role I play was to mentor especially sophomore students who
Sure.
have not yet made a selection as it relates to what they intend to do.
Okay.
So rather than be very theoretical, I know we said, can we use software? Can we use this? No.
Mhm.
What the
Yeah.
university did is that bring back alumni on campus for
Okay.
alumni to provide practical knowledge as it
Mm-hmm.
relates to sharing their experience on
Yeah.
what you think. If you want to become a procurement manager, you want to
Sure.
become a supply chain manager, you want to become
Sure.
a CFO, talk
Yeah.
to somebody who have had experience to pursue that path, and that will
Okay.
give you solid knowledge and understanding.
Okay. For the benefit of our immigrant community, Liberians, wherever you're from, is like, so do you advise then, like some of those Liberian professionals, that have corporate careers, right? Should kind of, and I know we talk mentorship is something that is very big to you. Should these Liberian professionals be coming by in the community, making sure it's like being visible to these kids where they say, hey, man, this is my career path. Maybe like establish some sort of a mentorship, for, Liberian professionals connecting with kids in high school or at the college level.
I would say two ways. I like the
Hmm.
aspect of professionals coming back in the community,
Yeah.
but I also like the aspect of making our case to be independent. In
How?
term,
How?
yeah, I'm going to elaborate.
Sure.
We need to train our case to be able to find the information. We need to train our case to have the ability to reach out,
Okay.
right? And as I said, those will happen all through college and other places. If, for example, when I wanted to pursue a career in procurement,
Sure.
what I did, I was very intentional. I
Yeah.
reached out. I went on LinkedIn. I went other places. I found individual who has similar career, and I asked key questions about how can you excel in those career paths. But what is different is that our community is disenfranchised in terms of information availability. right? That's one area we have challenges in. So as a community, we need to come together, similar to what I do volunteering with Sika. Now we bring a lot of individuals of
Sure.
like minds, individuals that are professional, to
Mhm.
come and share their experience. And
Mhm.
individuals who are in high school or maybe just college can be able to learn from them. But
Sure.
one of the best way to select a career is through what you said, by bringing professionals back to the community so that those professionals can share their knowledge and share their experience to be able to guide the youth of tomorrow.
Okay, first of all, yeah, folks. Number one, as I said, I want the professor to start using the BB board disenfranchised again. I gotta go check in the dictionary to see what is disenfranchised and all those stuff. So the professor will keep bringing us here tonight. There might be a high school kid out there trying to decide what career path to choose. I will determine the college you want to go to. So, professor, beg you. We know you're a professor, but please help us here so we can educate our folks and all those stuff. But Mel, well, first of all, right, is like you are saying we should make our kids independent. Mind you, now you are not okay when you're making those decisions. You know what I mean. So a commenter here, SMY, made that clear. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But Mel, go ahead for the professor.
No, yeah, I can elaborate further. I'm not speaking about me being a kid, right? Remember
Mhm.
that I'm a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Professor can be too
Mhm.
loud for words. So I'm interacting with high school students. I'm interacting with kids who just completed high school and pursuing college education, right? So
Sure.
when I go into that classroom, I'm just going there to facilitate, to be
Mhm.
able to provide the knowledge and skill set to make our kids,
Mhm.
I will not call them kids at that age, to make
Mhm.
them more independent, to be able to find their path as it relates to their career journey, right? So
Okay. Sure.
it's better to teach somebody how to fish,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
than to
Okay.
be there fishing for them. So by giving them examples or guardians, it'll be able to allow them to independently pursue their
Mhm.
career path while seeking assistance from mentor that may be available to them.
Yeah. Okay. Mel.
Yeah, Professor, thank you. I think as we talk about these things, that the next question I kind of have here has to do with how does one avoid making mistake in deciding a career path, to not just common mistakes that as a guardian, who have been in this area of just directing people. What are some common mistakes you think people can avoid in deciding a career?
Do not avoid mistakes.
Okay.
Right, mistakes are inevitable. Again, sorry. Do not avoid mistakes. As you work, when you're pursuing a career, the first thing I tell people is that have the passion first for the career path you want to pursue.
Mhm.
Once you have established your passion, you develop the skill set. Once you develop the skill set, as you go through, you have to remember you will make mistakes, right? There'll be a lot of time you'll make mistakes. But what
Sure.
is more important is that learning from your mistake make you stronger,
Mhm.
right? So as
Mhm.
individuals, right, as an individual who pursuing a career, if you make a mistake, the next thing that's going to happen, you're going to learn a lot from that mistake.
Okay.
Being an instructor, being an instructor in college, right?
Sure. Yeah.
When I'm training my students, I'm not
Yeah.
training them to be perfect.
Yeah.
I'm training them to be able to go into real world scenario where
Okay.
there will be challenges, there will be pitfalls, there will be mistakes that they will make. But the most important thing is how do we train them to be able to develop themselves when the mistakes occur? Do you
Okay.
take ownership of it? Do you have alternative solution for them?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you talk about mistake, maybe I can go further by
No. No.
saying
Sure. Sure. Okay.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah. Finish your thought.
it could be something that could a mistake be a mistake by you mistakenly selected a career,
Mm-hmm.
right? If that's a path you want to talk about, then that would be a whole new topic,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because sometimes people will select a career in their 40s and start to think, oh, I think I made a mistake. That's
Mm-hmm.
not who I want to be, what I want to
Okay.
be. But we can have that discussion another time.
All right, to put
Yeah.
you a little bit though, Professor, you keep saying you should have passion and you should have drive for the career you're going for. And you also mentioned something about the job market. Now, knowing those two, they are two different things, right? I could have passion for something that really doesn't pay much, right? Like you mentioned all that doesn't even have job availability in the market. How do I navigate those two? like looking at the job market. Let's say right now they're looking at the computer world, or cyber security or IT. Those are the kind of jobs that we have out there. And I'm thinking of doing something that is not even hiring people right now, right? That I have passion for. How do I navigate those two to kind of guide me along that way?
Okay.
Yeah, when I speak of passion, I also want to speak of passion in terms of aligning passion with reality,
Sure.
right? A lot of time we can have dreams. We all have dreams. We want to be this, we want to be that. But then again, we have to look at the existing reality, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Is like a kid that woke up and say, I want to run 1 mile today, right? The first thing is that that kid may be asking himself, do I have the energy to run 1 mile? Do I have the necessary tools? Do I have a sneakers to run? Do I have XYZ to run? Right.
Mhm,
So
okay.
even though your dream may be you want to be a runner, but how can you get towards being a runner? How can you develop yourselves? So that's why there are a lot of tools out there. There is this website that I will share with you guys later. Is a federal website, right, that
Okay.
provides occupational outlook as it relates to the different career path you want to pursue, right?
Okay.
So
Mhm,
if you go to this website, for example, and when you get to this website, you put in a career that you think you want to do. Let's say, for
mhm.
example, you say you want to be an accountant.
Yeah.
When you put in that you want to be an accountant, it's going to give you summary information of what education you need to become an accountant. It's
Okay.
also going to provide the salary range in terms of what's going to be the median pay as it relates to the range of pay for being an accountant. It
Okay.
tells you about the kind of education, what a certification degree that you can
Okay.
achieve, and
Okay.
they will give you insight outlook into
Sure.
within 5 years, this is where we expect this fee to be. But
Okay.
what's important is that it also tells you the different skill sets and technology you have to learn along the way in order to become an accountant. So you
Okay.
have the passion to become an accountant. Now you understand that there are tools available
Sure.
that will take you towards being an accountant. And these are the skills that you have to develop to become an accountant.
Okay. What conversation then should our immigrant parents be having that with their high school kids or their kids about like going to college, their kids on their way to college? What conversation in terms of their career? What conversation should they be having with them?
Yeah, one of the best mentor for any kids would be their parents, right? Both the moms and the
Hmm.
dad, right?
Hmm.
So I think the conversation as it relates to a kid future career should start at a very early age. We all been emphasizing high school, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, I have one of my daughters. I always going back and forth with her. She's in the seventh grade now, or sixth
Hmm.
grade rather, and she wants to. Initially, she said she wanted to become a chef.
Hmm.
As time goes by, we'll talk about being a chef. And one thing I do not do, I try not to impose on what I think my kids should do, right?
Okay.
I
Hmm.
try to guide them based on their passion. So, what I think parents should do first is
Hmm.
to understand what the kid's passion may be. Because
Hmm.
as parents, especially we parents from Africa, we have predefined career that we want our kids to pursue. They have
Okay.
to be a doctor, they have to
Yeah.
be a lawyer, they have to be a nurse.
Sure.
Those are the career path that when our kids choose, they will become excited, right?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, if your kid tell you that, if you have to look at your kid and see that, oh, my kid is gifted in XYZ area. If
Sure.
as a parent I do not have sufficient knowledge and experience, I can
Hmm.
come I can call the high school and say, can you direct me into resources?
Yeah.
Right? I think my kid love to be on the computer. My
Yeah.
kid love to play game. Can my kid become a software engineer? What are
Sure.
the tools that are available that could make this kid a very good software engineer that we can start at this time? And
Okay.
what is good for high school is that a lot of high school now we have a career. We have subject program for these kids in
Hmm.
which they can start early career that is a specialized program. Some you pay for outside. Some
Sure.
kids that want to become an engineer, you take into a STEM program, right?
Okay.
That you
Okay.
try to make sure that the kids start having early visibility towards that career path to be able to make a better decision.
Okay. Thank you, Tatters.
I'm glad you spoke about the tool after school because I was thinking about that. In the instance of parents who really do not have sufficient knowledge about the direction their kids want to take, and those kids are in high school about completing high school. What are some, if there are any, what are some of those resources? If you call up the school and say, hey, I noticed this and this, my student has a little bit of strength here in math or in a science subject. What are some of those resources that are there particularly that we can be able to explore for these kids?
Yeah, there are different resources, and most of those resources may not be directed provided by the school, right? The school serve as a central point in which if you call the principal's office or you
Mm-hmm.
call maybe an administrator at the school and saying these are the resources that I think that I'm lacking or I need for my kids that will meet the specific need of your kid,
Mm-hmm.
the principal or the social worker, whoever responsible for having those conversations, will be able to have that career placement conversation with you in the interest of your kids,
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
taking into consideration that usually kids are in 11th grade or 12th grade to start applying, thinking about college or
Mm-hmm.
applying for college, right?
Okay.
So a lot of those cases, when they start making those decisions, they're already making those decisions along with their instructors, along with the administrators, and along with other individuals that have subject matter expertise, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
those are the different things you have to look at. And then when you talk about resources, I'll go off topic a little bit.
Sure.
Start to rely on your network,
Okay.
right? And that's one thing that we really do not have in our community,
Yeah.
right? Like I met a couple of international students, right,
Yeah.
who were not able to pursue have a job to be able to move forward and be able to earn to take care of themselves while pursuing
Yeah.
school.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for me, I went to a networking retreat and I
Mm-hmm.
met another individual who has an organization
Sure.
that's exclusively focused on helping international students to gain employment while pursuing their education.
Okay.
And through that, those individuals were able to benefit. So
Okay.
you can rely both on the school for resources, but you should also rely on the network you have in the community, which all of us need to build to benefit our kids and our community.
Okay. Well, folks, today you are listening to how to decide a career path that is right for you. And we have a professor, a very knowledgeable professor. He's in the community. You might know him, JD Parker. He's educating us out here tonight, lecturing us. And so it's like, tonight, right? The reason why for me, I think the panelists, we are trying to hone in on like our kids in high school because you go to these every summer or spring, right? You go to the graduation, right? It's like huge graduation parties, right? Elaborate parties. You ask the kid, where are you going to college? No clue, right? No clue.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so to me, right, this topic is very, very important for our community. And that's why for me, I'm honing in on like, the high school kids because sometimes they say, hey, the mom or the dad might be deciding, you know what? I want my kid to go to the military. Well, it's good to go to the military. At the end of the day, you still got to, when it comes from the military, you still need your career, right? So I think, it is important that we educate our folks, educate our kids, and our graduation season is going to be upon us soon. So, Professor, we appreciate the information you're providing on here tonight. You can comment in a comment chat or you can call 817-600-1525.
Yeah,
Randy,
and there's the resources I wanted to talk about just to go back on Tito's question. There is this website called youth.org, youth.gov, right?
okay. Mhm.
Uh, a lot of parents can make use of that website. It just focus exclusively on youth, especially those in high school. That just provide a lot of information about exploring your career and developing different skills and unique skill set of our kids and our youth.
Okay.
Thank you.
Randy talk about trade school here, it's important, right? As I just talked about these kids graduating from high school. Some of them I don't have no clue, right? It's like, I don't think as a professor, it's not only getting a 4-year degree. Don't you agree? It's like, especially in the world we live in today, trade school is a viable option, viable career path for opportunities.
Yeah, I may be a professor, but when it comes to developing people, I don't develop people based on my path, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Everyone has his or her individual path, right? And I'm not one person who believes that you need a bachelor's degree to survive.
Okay.
I'm one person, however, who believes that you need a skill to survive, right?
Okay.
And you can obtain skills through different means. You can obtain skill either through obtaining 2 or 4 year education, or you can obtain skill through vocational education by building technical skills, right?
Okay.
Uh, I also teach at a technical college, right? Anoka Technical College, and that's one of the institutions that's just focused exclusively on building individuals. You can go to obtain 1 or 2 years degree, or
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, you can go to obtain a 2 year degree, or you can go to obtain just a certificate in something that interests you.
Sure.
Like Mel said earlier, you might want to develop to become a machine specialist,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you don't need a 2 year degree for that, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can go and get a skill set in that area. So I don't want us to be limited to the thought process that the only way you can obtain a career is by achieving or obtaining 4 year education. No,
Okay. Okay.
vocational schools, and that's why federal government and state government are investing a lot in the vocational and technical institutions, because
Okay.
that's the quickest way through which an individual can develop a career to
Mm-hmm.
limit how much student loan they may have to take, right?
Okay. Okay.
I've seen a lot of individuals who just from couple of certificates making more than me as a professor.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Mel.
Yeah, Professor. Thank you, JD. The next question, I don't know if you don't mind, but within our community, what are some if you know any individuals that have used these or navigated the system in developing a career path? You don't mind sharing their story, and what are some of the key takeaways that we can kind of share with our audience here tonight that made them to be successful that they apply the application of key takeaway things that they kind of learn from just exploring career development and using certain techniques. What are some of the things we can kind of learn from them, and who are those people that you know that have been successful in exploring a career path?
So basically, case studies.
Yeah, I would not call names
Yeah.
because of confidentiality. And that
Yeah.
one thing I do in the community is that I'm more like an informal mentor, right? In which I speak with a lot of individuals, and also I'm a mentee as well, right? I reach
Mhm.
out to qualified individuals.
Mhm.
Uh, Regardless of my education, I still have the opportunity to reach out. But one thing I've realized is that a lot of individuals in our community want to learn.
Okay.
What's absent is that information, access to information is
Mhm.
what is challenging, right?
Okay.
So when I'll continue to emphasize, when you have the right network, you can continue to develop yourself, right? Uh, Take this example. We are on social media on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
I met a colleague of mine on Facebook who were browsing and they just saw my information, like reached out to me. Oh, I saw you posted this institution online. I'm
Mhm.
interested in navigating my path to go into that institution.
Mhm.
We had a conversation. I provided the information, told them
Mhm.
to contact the institution,
Mhm.
work with them on helping to make sure that they develop a strong application to be able to apply for the program.
Mhm.
And this person went on to earn a master's degree,
Okay.
right? And now this person works in a career path that they are passionate about, right?
Sure.
They
Yeah.
develop both the technical skills and the academic knowledge that they needed to pursue that path, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
the information is in the community. Another area we don't take advantage of, especially is the unemployment center or the
Okay.
workforce center. Do
Okay.
not overlook that the amount of resources over there. You
Sure.
go over there, they will help you to do your resume maybe for free,
Okay.
and don't overlook your city library as well.
Okay.
The library has a lot of information, not just a lot of books sitting over there. If you talk
Sure.
to the librarian, they can easily help you to navigate different resources that are available from a county level or from a state level to be able to benefit. We
Okay.
have to make sure to go out to find the information. It's not going
Okay.
to come to us.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I'll
like
let the
the one thing though, that's like Tyler, before you join me here, right? Is that we keep saying that there's not of our community like information. I think, right, that's the reason Cycle Podcast is here for, right? We're here to provide this information, to provide information to our community, and even if we have one view, we'll keep pushing this information to the community because we feel that, right? We don't want people giving excuses all the time. Well, we don't have the information. We don't have the information, and that's why we address various topics every week on this platform. So Titus, go ahead.
So just to support the personal experience JD shared earlier about Buddy, he has seen folks, and I just want us to kind of stay on this topic about the trade school and technical skills a little bit.
Hmm.
That he has seen, folks who has gone that path, and their salaries are even, better than bachelor's and master's degree holders. And according to and that's even backed by the Bureau of Labor, from their statistics.
Hmm.
So, what can parents do? I mean, to support young students who are looking to go into that direction, that trade and technical direction that we're talking about here.
Yeah, what kind of support parent? I mean, what kind of support should parent be providing their kids who thinking about trade?
Correct. How can we provide support as we have all said, especially with the African immigrant parent, we have this preconceived destination for careers. Doctor, lawyer, engineer. Oh, I think even the most prevalent one now in the state is, oh yeah, become a nurse. Whether that student is into the literary arts area or into something else. You can't become a nurse. The pay is quick. So I mean, a kid is thinking about being just hands-on, electrical technology,
Plumber.
plumbing,
Yeah.
HVAC, technology, stuff like that. Automotive, some kids really love cars. Some want to be chefs, they can own their own business and restaurants. How can we support them as parents?
Yeah. So as I said earlier, right, as parents, we are the first mentors for our kids,
Hmm.
right? We are individuals who know our kids more than anybody else, right?
Yeah.
From childhood, as they grow and develop, you have to start learning your kids and start looking at what their gifts or their skill set may be, right?
Hmm.
I know most often sometimes we frown on the kids and we just good. We don't want our kids to have too much exposure to technology, right? But if you observe your kid having a lot of passion,
Yeah.
right, to be accessing different apps, right? Our kids have a lot of this kid have a lot of passion for always trying to design something using their phone or on a computer. That's a gift you can tap into, right? That is
Hmm.
my kid loves to be on a computer. How can I empower them, right? To
Hmm.
make sure that at this time they start learning the value of being on a computer, right?
Okay.
So, for example, my kids at early age, I made them to start learning how to type, right?
That's a good
They will
point.
come every day attach benefits to if you want to type, you reach a typing speed to at least 10 words per minute within a year. That's an improvement, right?
Okay.
I'm learning their skills. I'm watching them. I'm trying to see what they are passionate about. And the next thing is have direct conversation with the kids, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Don't overlook the 5 minutes or 10 minute drive we have with our kids. Ask
Sure.
them direct question. What do you hope to be?
Okay.
What do you want to be? Even though those conversation may be caution, but those are conversation that we have when we grow as adults, we tend to have retentive memories on where we started from as kids,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
that will set up the path about who we want to be tomorrow.
Well, let me just push you on that a little bit. Though. Okay, who coming up? Maybe they don't, you don't know what they are good at, or I mean, they're not on the computer, but maybe they just, they come from school. Maybe they just want to relax and stuff like that. And then graduating from college, you say, graduating from high school, you say, you know what, go to college. Shouldn't you be? You say, you know what, I see, right? I know 4 year college is good, but shouldn't you go into the trade? Like Randy raised a point. We have a tradition. It's not just in this country, all over the world. High school, strictly 4 year college. Shouldn't shouldn't parents, especially immigrant parents, say, you know what? Hey man, maybe I don't want to take that extra student loan. Can you go to maybe North Hennepin Technical College and go learn plumbing? Shouldn't immigrant parents, right, be having this conversation with their kid instead of that kid just not doing anything at all? You have a lot of kids graduating from high school and not pursuing nothing. They're not doing nothing.
Yeah, and that's a good path. And I serve on one or two committees at a college, right? One of
Hmm.
those committee is focused on providing pathway for our students, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And we've seen that there's been some challenges for most students in terms of making a decision like what we're discussing right now,
Yeah.
how to choose a career path, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the students will enter college for 1 year or 2 years. They are undecided as it relates to what they really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen situations, especially in our community, right,
Yeah.
in which a lot of individuals come and they are pushed into nursing.
Uh-huh.
They will go and pursue nursing, and they find out after a year or two of completing a lot of credits, oh,
Sure.
I don't think I can make it in this area. Either the lesson is rigorous,
Mm-hmm.
or they don't have the passion to be a nurse, or they were just pursuing it just because of the economic nature of that particular career path.
Mm-hmm.
We need to realize that, oh, if I leave from nursing and go to maybe something computer related, is something that I love to be on, is something that I'm passionate about, you go into that particular path.
Okay.
So we need to advise individual that 4-year degree is not the only path to obtain a career.
Okay.
Technical colleges have a lot of opportunities that we can benefit from to go and obtain a career. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the state of Minnesota introducing a lot of programs in which you can even go obtain most of these certificates for almost free, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
sometimes free, depending on your income. So
Okay.
the aspect of finances or how much tuition will cost should not be something that should hold you down.
Okay.
And we need to stop pushing what we believe in ourselves on other people,
Sure.
right? I mean, I've gone to college, have all this degree. I don't expect, I don't expect my kids to have similar passion for education that I have. But what I expect of them is that all of them must develop a career path.
Sure.
They must
Okay.
develop themselves in a skill. If you
Okay.
choose to go to college, that's fine.
Yeah.
And the next thing I always tell people is that no matter which career path you choose in this current
Sure.
path we find ourselves in,
Mm-hmm.
always attach something technical to it,
Okay.
because it's the technical aspect of the job that are going to keep you on that job for a long time. And
Okay.
don't forget, AI is coming around. So
Sure.
the more technical you are, the better you can be able to protect your career to be able to pursue other future endeavors.
Okay.
So
Mel.
then, so
Yeah,
then,
as
Mel.
it as it
Mel,
as
real,
it as it
real quick,
relates to
Mel.
that.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Tyler. Mel. Hold on. Tyler has a follow-up question.
No,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to flow on what he just spoke of as
Yeah.
far as those technical skills. So don't you think then the curriculum in these schools, in high schools, need to be reimagined? Because how can you start to from an early place start to infuse those technical skills into students? As it is designed right now. Look at the design of high school education. It's almost pointing, up with all of the general courses, is almost pointing most likely to uh, 4-year master's degree, PhD. Don't you think so?
Yeah, as an educator, we should not be complacent. There should always be opportunity to reimagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
If
Okay.
if if we become complacent and start to reimagine what we believe the future could be, we're not be in the situation we are right now, right?
Okay.
But when it comes to the current existence of high school, that's why we have a lot of STEM program, right? The STEM program I intended not just to focus on going to achieve a 4-year degree, but rather developing technical skills, right, in science, technology, and other areas for our kids to accumulate at a very early age. And a lot of the program, especially on a community college level, almost all of the program have technical alignment,
Okay.
right? If you go into school to become an accountant, we don't just go to teach you just to only do accounting, pass journal entries, and just doing everything just manual. When you go to become an accountant, we teach you introduction to computer. We teach you how to use Microsoft Office Suite. We teach you how to use Excel, maybe on an advanced level. We teach you how to use QuickBooks. We teach you how to use all the systems. So even though you're building a soft skills, you're also building technical skills that you're learning along the way through the uses of different software application while you develop your skill as
Okay.
an accountant.
Okay. Mel.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. You mentioned something that I think we should, kind of grab what you have on there more. Something about somebody choosing a career path and then finding out down the line they are uncertain about it. What are some things they can do to correct that? I'll give you an example. Someone just decided to go to university to do nursing, right? They went and did it, finished it, maybe spent 2 years, 3 years, depending on how long they went. finish, but they are uncertain about that. They have all of that student loan piling on, then decide to do and take on another path. What are some pieces of advice or things you think they can do to redirect them if you have encountered something like that?
Okay.
Yeah, I will come back to the aspect of sometimes your passion will haunt you, right? Because I know earlier you asked if you want to choose a career, what about the financial aspect, right? In terms of what your salary could be, what your potential income could be, right?
Okay.
You must first understand your passion, and I have similar crisis as well. There are moments in time I've been a professor for an instructor for a long time. I don't like to call myself professor for a
Mhm.
long time, and then I was also pursuing a career as sourcing and procurement, right, in supply chain. I love it. I did not go to school for that career. I just learned it on the job, and I've been in it for quite a long time.
Mhm.
At some point in time, I like, oh, I have a degree, a master's degree in project management. Why can't I go to become a project manager? I went on and obtained that degree and I went on and became a project manager. Later, did I realize that I did not like that, even though
Yeah.
I pursued the aspect of being a project manager. But what I really love is doing something that I'm present, in which I'm the actual stakeholder performing the action, right? So for that individual that are pursuing nursing,
Mhm.
knowledge learned can never be wasted. There are a lot of things that they will take along the way. What I would tell them is they need to ask themselves to find maybe a career coach, right? Or find a mentor, right? Or find somebody that they can be able to talk to who would ask them about their renewed interest. They
Mhm.
need to ask themselves, if I'm not interested in nursing, I get it. I already took the student loan. It's time to pursue a new path.
Okay.
What do I think that I want to do? Right?
Okay.
Reach out to individuals. You can reach out to career counselors. You may reach
Okay.
out to universities. Just find somebody to talk to find a new path to pursue. And this
Okay.
time it could be different based on the last experience.
Okay. So for like you got a lot of our folks, right? It's like, few of our folks come here, maybe with a degree from back home. They come here, but they are right now they are stuck on the assembly line, either at Boston Scientific or at Medtronic or any other assembly line around, around these United States. But they want to pursue a career, but they are stuck. What can they do?
The first thing I'll say, do not press the reset button.
Hmm.
That's what a lot of us do when we
Can you
come from.
can you clarify that? Do not
Yeah,
set the reset button. Okay, yeah.
yeah. When we come from back home, we some of us may have bachelor's degree, master degrees, are very educated.
Mm-hmm.
When we come here, the first thing is that we get people making comments or statement that discourage us
Okay.
by saying, "Oh, your education from back home will not apply. They will not respect your education from back home."
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's we get that discouragement. Once we get discouraged, so even if I had a bachelor's degree from back home, I'm coming now to start going to a 2 year college to start from fresh,
Okay.
to
Yeah.
start over, right? And what could have happened was that there's nothing wrong with going to a technical college. You
Okay.
could have that bachelor's degree,
Yeah.
right? I
Mm-hmm.
know an individual who came with a bachelor's degree,
Mm-hmm.
went on to get technical education, but
Mm-hmm.
actually making money based on the fact that they have a bachelor's degree, and that bachelor's degree is from back home. So
Okay.
do not overlook your degree from back home. The
Okay.
first thing you want to say is that, okay, I have a degree from back home as an accountant.
Yeah.
I've come to the US. Do I still want to pursue accounting? Yes. If you still want to pursue accounting, what do you lack? What skill set do you lack if you want to pursue a career in accounting? The
Okay.
first skill set that I've seen visible, and I used to be a teacher back home as
Yeah.
well. The first skill set is that you don't have computer skills,
Okay.
right? So rather than going to start a whole new degree path in accounting, just go and find one or two areas that you can go out of community college and take certificate program to develop quick computer skills
Mm-hmm.
that make yourself knowledgeable, and then you can be able to apply for a job to be able to reach where you are. And the
Okay.
next thing is that when we come, we don't have the ability to create resume that may be very, very competitive, right?
Okay.
So by dive into your network, get into your network, find individuals who will be able to help you
Okay.
create that resume to make you more marketable, right? I've done that for a lot of individuals. I will help people create a resume. I will prep them for interview. But again, uh, one person cannot do it. So that's why organizations like the Seeker that
Yeah.
I also work with, we
Mm-hmm.
try to create a mentorship program that we can be able to help facilitate and help ensure that individuals who, especially immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
who have degrees can find jobs that are comparable with their skill set.
Okay. Titus.
So just kind of reflecting on the colleges, especially the community colleges. Do you think they're promoting this continuity of education as in case of the African immigrant coming here with a first year degree? Do you think that there are resources at these colleges? Because a lot of experiences I've come across has been African immigrants changing their career paths because first of all they're using their accolades from back home and they're not getting the requisite jobs. You know, they're not getting these paying jobs. They're getting turned down by these different corporations because of where they attain their degrees from. So when it comes to these community colleges, it's like they have to start all over. That's the that's the feeling and the solution that they get from community colleges. And when you sit down with an advisor or a counselor at the college, I mean, they're more about giving you general courses, almost like studying you all over. So do you think these learning institutions are also playing a role in kind of resetting the path for African immigrants?
Yeah, that is something I'm researching right now for my dissertation, but that can be another discussion.
You can expand on that. You can expand your
You can give us
Yeah.
a little bit of it.
You can give a little snippet
Just give us
of the
just
dissertation.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm working on my dissertation on this topic that focus on the motivation of African immigrant other learners to pursue community colleges, to pursue community college education in Minnesota, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the aim of this research is to understand one what motivate them,
Mm-hmm.
what enable them to persist in their pursuit of like education, and
Mm-hmm.
how do they overcome those different challenges.
Okay.
And one key question that I keep asking is that one, do we have the resources in the community college that are culturally aligned to help immigrant students,
Okay.
right? The resources are there based on my research so far. The community colleges have the resources. But one thing is we are not aware, or most of the immigrants are not aware about the existence of those resources.
Mm.
That's one.
Mm.
And two, somebody talk about reimagine, right? Community colleges need to continue to reimagine how they can make those resources more visible
Mm-hmm.
to the students for them to take advantage of,
Mm-hmm.
right? So take for example, a lot of community colleges have career or workforce department
Mm-hmm.
that focus exclusively on helping students, not just immigrants, helping students to be able to find a career path.
Okay.
So African immigrants are African immigrant learners now, or
Mm-hmm.
immigrant learners in our community, need to take advantage of going to those centers. We at our colleges we always have a career day program. We
Yeah.
have information session with employers. Go there and take advantage of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing is that if you came from Africa, right, as an immigrant,
Mm-hmm.
when you come here, the first thing you do, as I said earlier, when you identify your career, know yourself, understand your limitation,
Okay.
right? When you
Okay.
understand your limitation, then you'll be able to get into say, okay, these
Okay.
are my limitation. I don't know how to use a computer. Where
Okay.
can I get quick skills?
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is we need to train individual on how to do interview, right?
Sure.
The
Yeah.
way we do interview back home is different from how we do interview here.
Yeah.
In America, we more focus on experience. How
Yeah.
can you display your experience?
Yeah.
In Africa, we focus more on academic, right?
Mm. Yeah.
If for example, in Africa, if you're asking if in an interview to be an accountant, they'll
Mm-hmm.
ask you what is accounting,
Yeah.
right? In here, they will ask you how do you apply debit
The
and credit
application.
utilizing XYZ,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
that's where we need to help our immigrants, our own
Yeah.
immigrants, on how we can develop them to be able to meet these challenges that they are encountering right now.
Okay. Well, folks, you are listening to a very learned professor here tonight. And he's a doctor. Dr. Baka is educating us here tonight, lecturing us about choosing a career path. I know we keep talking about this, information. But yes, still, our folks don't come in like to seek the information. And our child Bible show by now, man, you got like 1 million views, you know. But hey, Cyber platform will keep providing information to our community, keep discussing these various topics. It's not just about all of this drama. Our community will need we need this information. As you said, folks are coming from back home with so many degrees, right? It's like we need to educate folks to see where they can find resources, how they can get our resources. So Professor Baka here is providing us great information tonight. So folks, you can call us 817-600-1525, or you can comment, if you want to contribute to the show. One thing though,
If you don't mind, I want to make an opinion on one of the comment from Randy.
Mhm.
He talked about student athlete,
Yeah,
and that's a very very important topic, right?
sure. Hmm.
A lot of our kids are usually passionate about sports, right?
Hmm.
And there are times in which as parents we tend to just we tend to
Can you
have
put that comment up, please?
if you go on the comment section,
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I
yeah,
can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
yeah. So there are a lot of our kids who are passionate about sport.
Hmm.
So as parents, we should ensure that we should create a balance within our kids' pursuit of sports, and also making sure that they have solid education along the way. I mean, technical education along the way, because
Okay.
you all know most people that play sport, you have injury, you have the unknown, right?
Yeah.
That could happen. So as parents, if you have a kid that play very good basketball, very good soccer, very good football, or any sport, you want to be intentional about creating a balance, right? Telling them that if you don't obtain the 3.0 or 4.0, you're not going to pursue this particular path. I
Mhm.
need to make sure that I understand you have this passion for this career for playing a basketball, but at the same time, I want to make sure that you read well, you read well, you complete the assignment on time, you have an alternative career that you're focusing on. Because we have seen a lot of our kids will get injured maybe
Sure.
in high school or just before they finish high school. So that's a very good comment.
I think the emphasis should be put on student athlete. The student should come first before the athlete. And my dad like to
Thank
say
you.
right here is like after your playing career, after all your million, you still gotta come to the real world and learn how to read and write. So hey, never
Thank you.
never
Yeah.
ever done the education aspect of it. You can go make all your millions as an athlete at the end of the day. You need that education. One of the things though I like to push, right? You have now a community, immigrant community. You have, someone have a master degree. They want to go for another master degree, for another doctorate degree. Has nothing to do with their career. I mean, why is that? Why is that prevalent in our community?
I'll say that's craziness, right?
Mhm.
I'm saying that because I one person who did it, right? I wish
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
if I could turn time again,
Mhm.
I got two bachelor's degree, three master's degree, pursuing a PhD. So,
Mm.
but
Professor.
that if I had to rethink how to do it, I would have only done one bachelor degree, one master degree, and just go for my PhD. But
Okay.
somebody just come from some people, right? Is that personal passion for learning.
Mm.
I love to learn. That's just it, right? So for me, that's what was motivating me.
Sure.
Other people are motivated by other things. For example, somebody might have uh, a master degree in something else, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Maybe master degree in education, but all of a sudden they realize that, oh, I think I want to do a few finance courses that or accounting courses. Why not go and do an MBA since I already have a master degree, right?
Mhm.
That is where instead of just focusing on another area that's not more technical or something that they believe could give them a better income,
Mhm.
improve standard of living, or where the job market may be directed. They say, oh, okay, even though I got a master's in education, I think by aligning this master in education with with an MBA in finance accounting or something else, I can be able to be more productive within the workforce.
Okay. Mel.
Great conversation. Great conversation. I think as we talk about these things, one of the questions that come to mind is how do you, or what are some of the resources out there that can help people, that have interest in setting career by identify their strength effectively that we have out there that they can explode.
Yeah, there are a lot of resources out there. I will first start with the workforce centers in our different cities, in our different communities, right? Most people only go to the center when they become unemployed, right? Because they have to meet certain requirement to get their unemployment. But you don't need to wait for that, right? At a center, they have at those centers rather, they have area to teach people how to use the computer. If they cannot teach you, they'll give you the resources on what you need to learn, right? And I also share with you guys at, a couple of educational sites that
Mhm.
people can go to, Coursera or Udemy, all those different sites. You can go there and just get you learn almost anything you want to learn right on using those sites. The next area are the community colleges, right? In your different cities or different states, right? You can go there to obtain information, valuable information that could benefit your career.
Okay.
Another area you can make use of is go on LinkedIn, be intentional, right? About finding people that align with what you think you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are very generous in responding when it comes to pursuing a career or being a mentor. I've
Okay.
done it, it has worked for me, and I've reached out to people as a mentee, and people have reached out to me on LinkedIn as well as a mentor. Just browse, say, okay, I want to be a quality engineer, right? I'm going to tap quality, which are the quality engineer do I have? Send an email. I saw your profile as a quality engineer. I'm interested in it, but I don't understand the career path for this particular degree that I want to pursue.
Okay.
That person may like the response to you, and
Sure.
all of a sudden you might have some connection to do, right?
Okay.
And I've had people who came here, right? Most
Mm-hmm.
of us would say, oh, people came here, they want to go straight to, you have a bachelor degree, they want to go
Sure.
back to pursue a bachelor degree. I have a colleague of mine, again, for privacy, I will not call name. But through our Sika mentorship program, this kid had a bachelor degree in computer from back home. The
Yeah.
kid, this person came here, were able to network them. They participated in our mentorship program. Now they have a very good job with $0 student loan, zero
Wow.
dollars,
Okay.
right? So
Mm.
tapping into your network,
Okay.
tapping into your network, you'll be able to find these opportunities, right?
Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
overlook that.
Okay. Well, folks, again, we are discussing how to decide a career path that is right for you, right? We're not going to take all night here. The professor is educating us tonight, but we're not going to take his time, and so we'll push it for the next 10 minutes, and then from there we'll wrap it up. But before we get to that, I just want to inform folks. We know we keep talking about the information. First of all, Inner Cycle is going to be building a community center, immigrant community center, that we're going to put a resource, right, to be edit because, like, I mean, we need these resources. Sometimes like, it's so fragmented, so folks don't know how to get to it. So I think that is something Inner Cycle is working on. But here, Titus, go ahead.
Yeah, I like how you talked about that, and that would be so important for our community because that way we can even make a collaboration of all these different resources. And Prof, thanks for really being here, and thanks for what you're doing in our community, being a part of all these different organizations, networks and workshops. One of the things that I would like you to kind of throw light on is this English, right? English for second learning, right? Imagine a student coming from Liberia, where the standard language there is English. Coming from there with a bachelor's already, you come here to pursue a higher education, and ESL is thrown at you as one of these general courses. Um, I mean, and evidently, per the International Organization for Migration, 25% of African immigrants have limited English proficiency, and it's directly in correlation the to decreasing the prospects for careers advancement and jobs. So, how can you address this type of challenge? How can we as a community address this challenge with this ESL thing and how it affects our career advancement?
And before the professor answered that, let's just clarify. ESL is English as a second language.
Second
English,
language, yeah.
yeah, English as a second. Most of more African comes, even when you're from Liberia, you say, "Hey, English as a second language." To hell with that thing.
That's exactly my point. You know, like we're,
So,
you
Professor,
know,
go ahead. Yeah, Professor, go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm one person who's a fan of ESL, right? And I believe is a very good. If we consider a program or course, whichever way you consider it, is a very good and effective program that helps a lot of immigrants, especially as you try to resettle in a new country, right? And take for example, being from Liberia, right? We understand the challenges of our educational system, right? The
Mhm.
limitation that exists, and if you travel from Liberia and resettle in America, going to do ESL is not a limitation on your knowledge, right? No one is looking down on you, but rather they're trying to strengthen you for the competitive workforce out there, right? If you
Go
want
ahead.
to be,
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll push you on that a little bit. Go ahead.
yeah, if you want to be competitive, you have to be ready to do that, right?
Okay.
And when you go to college, a lot of colleges now you have the ability to test out,
Sure.
right? I did the same thing when I came. I already had a bachelor's degree. Going to pursue another bachelor's degree at the University of Minnesota,
Sure.
I was asked to do ESL, and I said
Mhm.
no, I cannot do ESL. I speak English well, I write English well, I have
Mhm.
a degree. I went in and I tested out,
Yeah.
right? And after testing out, it helped me.
Yeah.
I was able to continue my education. But there are other individuals who don't have similar knowledge base as I did, right? So
But
those individuals that have taken advantage of ESL, they write well, they speak well, they're able to complete their assignments. There are a lot of advantages for doing the ESL. Yeah, go ahead.
I get the advantages, right? But I don't think someone coming from an English speaking country should be made to do ESL. So are you telling me someone coming from Great Britain, I mean, do they do ESL? Someone coming from Australia, do they do ESL? Okay, I don't think someone coming from an English speaking country that should be put upon them, right? It's like that is like if you're coming from and like where in as you stated English as your second language, maybe you can like I mean you coming from a country that speak a different language, maybe like French or Spanish, that should be put upon you. But someone coming from Liberia who speak English, I don't think that should be put upon you. You as a professor, I mean, I know you have mentioned the advantages, but I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, the world is not fair, right? Even the world is not flat. Different people have different perception.
So yeah, so before you even go into that,
So
right? Is it mandatory? Is it mandatory or optional? Maybe let's clarify that.
most universities make it optional, right?
Okay.
In which you have the ability to test out, right?
Yeah.
But again, remember too that English is one of the required courses, right?
But someone coming from Liberia, they can speak
It,
English. If they
yeah,
require
Hey,
course,
maybe the professor just mentioned something about the limitation of our educational system.
yeah.
Now
I also
we
take
have
that into
we have
consideration.
outdated books out there that are using it. Up here you have modernized stuff, so
Yeah,
we are outdated. So yes,
so
I get where you're coming from.
are you guys seriously sitting here tonight and destroying the Liberian brand? Is that what you guys are doing here?
No, we
no,
are
no,
not.
no,
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 We are
you
no,
not.
no.
We putting
okay,
reality out there.
okay, okay,
No,
No,
okay, okay.
we are
I
destroying
think
the
it should
program.
be optional. I think it should be optional.
Okay,
Yeah,
Professor, go ahead. Professor, go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. We I love my country, right? I
Mhm,
love
Yeah.
Liberia, and I always say that we
mhm.
are not destroying the brand. We want our immigrant to be competitive.
Okay.
If you have to be competitive, you need to learn how to read and write well, right?
And comprehend.
And comprehend well. So by going to do English, it doesn't necessarily mean you learn your second language, even though you actually speak English, right? So when you go to, I've known a lot of my students,
Mhm.
Liberian, from other people from different countries, Nigeria, and other areas, that really excited when they do ESL program. You see there's improvement in their English diction, right? There's a lot of opportunity that exists for them. They're able to write well, especially when it comes to writing, right? And also when it comes to speaking,
Mhm.
right? Those programs help them. It helps to guide them. It helps to set the path for them to be very successful. So it is important for us as immigrants to take advantage of those different programs. So I would say, I think there's a comment.
No, 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 don't focus on the comment. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So
We'll let you to things that you know. Go
yeah.
ahead.
As an instructor, I will encourage people to take advantage of ESL program if you can, right? Help to refine your, not refine, but help to create a more competitive skill set. Because when you go in the workplace, you're going to be writing reports, and sometimes those are reports that you may not have done back home. You by learning ESL, you have developed a foundation to be able to become more competitive in the workforce in America, and also for yourself as an individual, because you're going to refine yourself and upgrade the way you speak or the way you write.
I understand everything you're trying to say, right? But I greatly disagree with that. There's no uniform English, right? The Australian English is different, the British English is different, the Singaporean English is different, the Liberian English is different. That shouldn't be something that should be. I know you say it's optional, but you said like you encouraging Liberians to do that. I don't think they should do that. But anyway, that's just my own personal opinion here. But as we close tonight, guys, each of you, the professor
But
has
again,
really indicated.
again, they can always test out. You know, if
Yeah,
they
that's exactly. Hey, at the
test
British,
out.
testing out, at the British testing out, at the Canadian
Just the way I
testing out.
tested out as a Liberian, so
But
anybody else can test out.
no, 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 I don't think that's I don't think that's that. But yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyways, guys, it has
Good
been
conversation.
the conversation has been great. But we can't go all night, right? We have, the professor have given a lot of great information here tonight. We cannot go all night, right? We have to obviously wrap this up. So, Titus, I'll give you the opportunity to ask the professor your last question.
It's been a really great conversation, fascinating one. So, again, thank you. What would you recommend, as the next step for folks who are, pursuing higher career paths, different career paths? What would you recommend to folks, to parents here, and then from folks back home who want to kind of stay in touch with what they've already studied back home and what they can continue with, and that path they can continue over here as well.
Yeah, I will encourage individuals to take advantage of the school systems, other colleges, university, or high school, to obtain information on the career outlook. There are a lot of resources on the internet, like the U.S. Bureau website that I just gave to you guys. That's a very good website. Our website will provide information and occupational outlook about what you want to be for any career, right? It will tell you about the technical skills you need, the licenses you need, the certificates or the degree that you need, right? Take advantage of those information. And do not only just pursue a career based on
I'm
passion.
sorry, is that website in the chat? Can you say it so we can put it in the chat?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as you go, yeah, go ahead and we'll put it on the website. We'll put
Yeah,
it in.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll put it
Yeah.
in there. Go ahead, professor. Go ahead.
Sure, for our folks. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, take advantage of those resources that are available. And most importantly, take advantage of your network, right? Do not just pursue a career based on passion, pursue a career based on reality, right? If you want to pursue a given career, investigate, right? Understand, how do I get through this career path? That's one. And two, do I have what it takes to be able to get to that particular career path that I want to seek? If yes, how the way to get there, you learn your technical skills, develop your technical skills, and also I keep talking about technical, but develop your people skills as well. Your ability to speak, your ability to interact, your ability to open up, your ability to be able to move out and conduct research, right? Those soft skills are all important to help you succeed in the job and not just developing the
Okay.
technical skills.
Okay. You know what? Before I go to Mel, I'll just put that thing back up here, and that was my point I was trying to raise. You know, it's like they
Great way
raise
to
up.
turn it, man.
They're going to raise something that hey, I'm guilty of that. When I first came to this country as an immigrant, right? It's like my first job was cleaning high school, no, a middle school, bathroom. Like a friend of mine, who also was working, going to high school working, and then back and forth, he said, "Hey, are you kidding me?" So my first response to him is, "Are you dead?" You know what I mean? That was my first. So in terms of, I thought you were talking about killing me. So I responded to him. I said, like, the words do. I told him was, "Are you dead?" The point I'm trying to raise and the reason why I put that on the thing here. So now, right? It's not like, look, English guys, to me, right? It is different, right? Right. Back to the whole ESL thing. It's different the way we understand things, right? It's like the British people pronounce things differently versus the American, versus the Canadian. And sometimes, phrases or words might mean something different, right? And things like that. So, I mean, my friend at the time meant kidding, but I took it to be like kidding. So my response to him was, "Are you dead?" So anyway, so I just wanted to, put that
So that really just validate our point that ESL
I shouldn't be
it's
someone.
taking
I
Dagondi.
read that I shouldn't be someone to go do ESL. No,
Oh,
thank you.
God.
You should
Okay,
do
but anyway,
ESL.
Mel, go ahead. Go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, so great conversation. Evie, the reason I think is okay to just is it gonna help you as a person
Mhm.
doing that ESL to develop your English skill, your speaking
That's
skill, your writing skill. So it's good. But first of all, they'll test you. You take a test. You take an Aki placement. I took that when I started at Hennepin
Yeah.
Technical College, and
yeah,
luckily I was able to just jump into college stuff. However,
yeah.
professor, we have a lot of Liberians in Minnesota or in America that are highly skilled. How can we create an environment to bring these Liberians on board to help people that want to go into the similar career path they are in? Like, let's say somebody who is a quality engineer or process engineer or cyber security, a bunch of Liberians in those areas, but we kind of shy away from it. How do we create an environment to help mentor other Liberians that want to go into the similar field? What are some of the things we can do?
Yeah, we have a lot of institutions that currently doing that, and one of those institutions are volunteer on the board, CCAD. So what we do every year, we usually have a conference. We have a conference every year for the last 6 to 7 years, in which we bring Africans from all walk of life, engineers, teachers, doctors, just people from different places sharing their experience, providing the opportunity for them to network, right? So we have those institutions. We just need to be intentional about selling those institutions to create a common space, right? Maybe we need to out of decentralize it further to have a unique brand of institutional focus exclusively on Liberians, right? Those Liberians have succeeded within the corporate workforce or maybe other workforce in America, that we can create an assembly of Liberian professionals who could be like a box or two box of mentors that can be able to either go to high schools to speak, go to community colleges to speak, just encourage students and tell them about the advantage of the career path that they choose and how it could impact those kids that are in high school or just starting college.
I think one of the thing too, right? Before I go to the professor, Mel, to your point, they need to start watching all the drama on Facebook and become intentional, right? It's like, hey, if you have your master degree, right, become intentional to say, I don't want to go sit on a Boston Scientific assembly line or Medtronic assembly line or some sort of become a, how do you call it, a nursing home thing. If they are not, they go in a go home and stuff like that, right? You gotta be intentional sometimes. I think the professor mentioned that, earlier, right? You gotta be intentional. And sometimes you got a lot of our folks, they rather watch Shadow Robbers than to become, than to do some networking and all those stuff. Yeah. I keep picking on Shadow Robber. They say she's gonna come at me, but hey, that's another topic for a different day. But hey, guys, it's game, right? Professor, we can keep you all night. Mel has asked his last question. My thing to you is like, what message overall you want to leave our community as a professor who's in this community, who's very passionate about education, very passionate about elevating Liberians. What message you want to leave our audience tonight?
Yeah, I would like to close with one of my favorite quotes by Dr. Seuss. And he said, "You have brains in your head, right? And you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. you can steer yourself in any direction that you choose. When we come to this country as immigrants, let us not limit our ability to be who we want to become. Let us be aggressive, intentional, and focused in pursuit of our dreams, right? When I came to this country 15 plus years ago, I came with a bachelor's degree and I was working with a government World Bank project as an accountant. Moving to the US, my first career I had to do was working as a housekeeper. And interestingly, that became one of my most humbling career ever. I pursued that with passion. I cleaned diligently. I served the client diligently in the nursing home, and I worked as hard as I could. In the very same area, uh, after that, I knew what I wanted to become. My wife told me, "This is not what you want to be." I said, "Thank you." Without motivation, I went back to school, right? Fast forward from being a housekeeper to almost earning a doctorate degree, being a professor, teaching people from all race around the planet, it brings so much passion. I would never be successful until the next Liberian can become like me.
Okay.
I can even exceed my legacy. So that is why a program like this and other programs in the community that I run through, Inner Cycle, SICA, and other programs, we need to make sure that if we succeed, we should create opportunity to be able to demonstrate that we want other people to come on board. So I encourage all of us. You can you can mentor anybody, right? You can be able to direct anybody. That's a good one. So yeah. So my career path, I wanted to become a professor. I've always been passionate about that, right?
Sure.
I love to teach. I was intentional about asking the rightful question. How can I become a professor? It happened when I went to a party, met somebody who was already a professor and expressed my interest to him. He forgot about me totally. After 4 years later, he called me on the phone. Sir, do you still want to teach? I said yes. And the next thing he said, do you have a master's degree? I said yes. Because I was preparing, I knew what I wanted. So for to anybody, whatever
Was
you
that a
want to become,
requirement for you to teach?
no, it was not a
I'm
requirement.
sorry.
But
Okay.
you need to solidify your credential, right? And the next thing I like to tell anybody, whatever you
Yep.
want to do, seek knowledge, seek help. There are people out there who are very generous with their time and wanting to help. Nobody should limit you or tell you that you cannot become what you want to be.
Okay.
Yes, you can. You can be working a group home. You can be a CNA. I know CNA who are medical doctors right now.
Okay.
African immigrants. I know them.
Okay.
So there's nobody. Do not look down on yourself, or nobody should look down on you because you work in a group home. You work in a nursing home. Some of the most important advice I got through my career path
Okay.
was serving those clients in a nursing home, cleaning their rooms, and I'm very proud of that.
Okay.
And I want anybody to be proud of what you do. It's not about your today. Your today. It's about how you how you navigate those paths to be able to become who you want to be, who you want to be tomorrow.
Okay. Well, folks, you have heard a very great conversation here tonight. How to decide a career path that is right for you. First of all, before we close tonight, right, is that you can get all the degree. One thing we want folks, our immigrant folks, especially that we want to also focus on, is productivity. Anything you do, be
Application.
very, very productive. Sometimes you see folks have their degree, they just say, "Now, I get my degree now, I get my office job now." They are now being productive. They get them a tax, they are not productive. So, Professor, we thank you for really, really educating us here tonight. For those on the assembly line, those who know good homes, if you got a degree, man, hey, the jobs are there. They need you. Stop sitting in a good home for PhD, as as Randy said, and then pushing those hours. But hey, folks, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for
In a
tuning in.
circle
It has been
podcast
a
where
great
others
show.
will grow.
We appreciate the education. If you can just stick with us for a little bit, before you go. But hey, folks, we'll be here tomorrow with a very good guest. We started on team last week Friday about real estate, and tomorrow we'll be diving into real estate. Again, we'll be discussing that, and then next week Tuesday we'll be here. But then we'll be taking the Thanksgiving break. We'll be taking Thanksgiving off, right? So we'll not be here next week Thursday and Friday. But we'll be back here We'll be back here tomorrow and Tuesday. It is a community show. We need you. Tune in, man. Come and learn these very, very, very important.
Keep sharing.
We want to grow. We want to focus on our community. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Peace out, guys. Good night.